How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm super good. Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Awesome. Anita, you made it on. This is exciting.
Oh, there's G.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Is your name exactly as it looks, or am I going to butcher it? Is it Genevra or
Close. Ginevra.
Ginevra? Okay.
Ginevra gonna forget it, Hudson.
Gene and I will not now.
I got Steve with me
I'm
too, so he's over
oh,
here, Steve Johns.
What's up, Hudson?
hey, how are you?
Good to see you, man.
Good to
Good.
see you too. Obviously, you've been asked that question before, which is why you had an easy answer for me. I have two first or two last names, depending on how you look at it. So trust me, I understand.
I actually think I claimed I was the first one to come up with that. You're never gonna forget it.
Oh, he did.
I,
I love it. I love it. Hi, Morgan.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. I'm excited to kind of meet you all and in a little bit really meet you all. And yeah, so while we're waiting for anybody else that might be joining, what I really would love to do is most of you don't know me. Morgan kind of knows me through osmosis. Every coach is different. I'm here for you guys in whatever capacity that you need me. I was a team leader before, so I know how crazy it is to sit on the leadership side of this company. I know you have 800 things you're supposed to do every day, and yet only like one or two things you get measured by. And it's just a big, confusing world. And so my goal is to not create a bunch of ugly work for you. My goal is for us to work together in a partnership and create an event that's going to have a huge impact on the market center, and frankly, for most of you, for you guys as well, because most leadership has bonuses based off profitability and all that fun stuff. So I'm here to work with you. So, I heard from Morgan a little bit about the state of the market and her market center from her point of view, and yet we've got two other market centers on here. So tell me what it's like right now for you. Tell me what your numbers are like. Are you up? Are you down? Are you just happy? Are they freaking out? Like, tell me a little bit about what's going on in your world.
Yeah. I mean, I think our agents to mark the business is down a little bit. In Kansas City, I think it's down between 18 and 20% year over year.
Okay.
Um, agents are starting to feel it. They're starting to talk about it. They're curious. They're asking questions. Our top producers are they're slowing down. We're
Yeah.
feeling that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the actual market center numbers like? Like, are they still pretty cool? Are you guys feeling it yet or not really?
The metric.
straight from the OP. Yes,
yeah.
the owner profit is
Yes.
feeling it.
Okay, got it, got it.
Yes.
Well, which means aging, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that, yeah.
Okay. What about Lee's Summit? Who do I have on from Lee's Summit? What is it like for you guys?
Anita's early summit person. I don't know if she's.
I know that she had something else at this time, and my guess is with the camera off, she might be doing double duty right now, which I appreciated at all. Is anybody else from Lee's Summit?
I don't
I thought
think
somebody
so.
else was.
I think that's
Okay.
the only person at the moment.
Lee Summit is feeling it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
It's Misty. Misty, do you have anything to share about how it is in your market center? I gotcha. All right. Well, you can tell me later. You can email or text me or just, yeah, same as OP. Got it. Got it. Okay. So let me ask you something. And there's no right or wrong answer. Like I'm a bold coach, so I kind of love bold. Like, don't get me wrong. And you're not gonna like you don't need to tell me the answer you think I want to hear. Why bold? Why now? Like, what are the number one or two things that you're looking to get out of this experience?
I think this is the perfect time for Bold for our agents to get them in production, to change their mindset, to show them and remind them they can do hard things again, and to get them back in those activities that
Yeah.
give them results. I had an agent, the last Bold, she was a recruit, and I'll never forget. She goes, "You know what, Ginevra, I learned from Bold? She learned that if I do shit every day, I'll be just fine.
So here's the funny thing, right? Like the market's changing. It sounds like you guys are a little behind in a good way, like that it hasn't really hit you as much until recently. And yet at the end of the day, all we have to do is talk to more people and we get big fat checks for talking. Like that's literally what you do as a real estate agent. You talk to enough people, you get paid. Like it's a fantastic thing. So that's awesome. Any other thoughts around what it is that you're like, if you had a magic wand, like at the end of this bold, what has happened? Like in other words, is your back door closed? Have you gained recruits? Is the company dollar? Like what are the most important things you're looking for?
I
Not
would
all
say
at
all
once
of
though,
the
that gets
above,
really
right?
weird. Okay.
All of the above. I mean, ideally, I think a big part right now would be making sure that we're providing that support so that our back door is less vulnerable, because we're getting more agents into production.
Okay. So you've only started to feel the shift in the last few months. Is that an accurate statement? For the most part, yeah, kind of.
I think we
Okay.
felt it.
Felt it
Yeah, I
all
think we
year.
felt it all year.
You
Right
have
around
felt
this
it all year.
time.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
So
Hudson, we're looking at January or July's numbers as the first month that we're really measuring against when the shift really happened. So last year in July is where we saw the shift. So our year over year on like in July, we're comparing it to last July, knowing that that was when this all started. And so, yeah, I mean, and that is what I mean, back to what you said, all three, what Morgan said, yes, all three of the things you asked. I also think that it's the retention piece. There's a story around basically our entire company, but
okay.
it's a story that agents are creating that where's the value of KW? And that's what my goal would be for this bold is to, I've been to several bolds a lot, and it's to have the bold that really shows the value of KW and pulls all those pieces together: production, culture, just energy, just that's where I feel there's a story out there, and it's and it's going through the interwebs, and it's just we've got to tell the story that we have, and I think collectively, I mean, these three market centers, 3, 4, however many we can get on board,
Yeah, so I have 3. That timeout. If there's any other market centers that I should be reaching out to or that you want to reach out to, just if you have other people that want to participate, let me know. What I want to say to that is I hear that, and that so much of that is not Keller Williams. It's really just we're in a shift, so everybody goes to the grass is greener, right? And so where I wanted to take it, and I think you guys probably all realize, and yet for the sake of sanity, let's make sure you do, like your agents are getting recruited harder today than they have in a very, 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 very long time. And so what I want to encourage, and one of the things that we're going to do today is I believe in simplicity. I have no desire to give you 300 things to do to launch this bold. I want to give you like a plan that fits on one set of fingers to get this thing launched so that it's simple. And I want to make sure, because what happens sometimes is we focus a lot on the low to mid-level producers, which is fine. We want to help them. Who's being recruited harder are the mid to the high level producers, and who will impact you more if they leave are the high to mid-level producers. So just keep that in mind. So there's a couple logistic things that I want to make sure that we cover today, just so that we could, because we have a lot of time until launch, which can either be a blessing, which is what I would desire, or it can just give us time to do nothing, right? And so we've got Mega Camp coming up. I'm not going to start like regular weekly meetings with you guys till after Mega Camp. This will be our one time, and of course you can still reach out to me. Do we have any ideas of venue?
I'm looking into
I'm looking
venues
at-
at this time.
Okay. Because what I've seen happen before, I don't know if you guys have seen this, is that the it's an easy excuse for an agent to give you. Well, I need to know where it is. It's silly, and yet you're going to get it. So the sooner that we lock in a venue, it's just one less thing to hear about from our agents. So I would suggest that we find a venue as soon as possible. And I would, not just me, yeah. And I would say, I have found over the last year that when we launch the right way and we really put it out to everybody and show them the value, we might get a really great number. Like I'm launching a bold next week, and the largest bold it's a 2 market center bold. The largest turnout they've ever had was 61 people, and we are at 100 registrations full before step 1. So what I would say is get the biggest venue that fits your budget. I understand it's not cheap. I get that. Just look for, I'd rather have some cobwebs in the corner and have plenty of space for everybody who wants to be there than ever have to have you guys tell somebody, nope, we ran out of space. It's not a fun conversation. So just find whatever you can. And then date wise, I talked to Morgan and she was so gracious. She was like, we can do either Wednesday or Thursday. And then I talked to the other location in Minnesota, and they're like, we can do Wednesday or Thursday with you first as a group. So you guys tell me, which day would you prefer to do? Because it doesn't matter to me, Wednesday or Thursday.
Have a preference?
Feel like we're gonna face off. Throw it out.
right. Wednesday or Thursday.
Trying to think of like our worlds.
Probably. Does do either of the market centers have anything big on Wednesday or Thursdays that come like, once a month or whatever, in that 2
Our
month period?
investment club's on Thursday. Why don't we do it on Wednesday?
Well, I was gonna say all the broker classes are on Wednesday though for all of the market centers.
Yeah, and our ELT's Wednesday, and we know some of our staff, I assume some of our staff's gonna have to be there, so. And yeah, broker classes would need to be moved.
I think that might be.
One thing I will, while you guys are kind of deciding, and you don't have to decide now, and yet I would love to know by the weekend so that we can get our links before Mega Camp. Something to think about. Like I have had market centers before, like let's say there was a conflict with the team meeting and they've just canceled their team meeting for 2 months because there is a very strong front to say like, this is how important bold is. It's going to replace our. So I'm just saying that might be something to consider. I'm not saying you have to do it, and yet it is kind of a powerful story to present to your people. So do you guys want to table it and chat amongst yourselves and let me know? That's fine. Yeah, just if you could let me know by end of day tomorrow, because I don't need a venue to get us a link, and I do need dates. Plus, you guys are going to need dates to secure a venue.
Y'all,
So just once
pick a
you,
date, for goodness sakes, let's just pick one.
All in favor of Wednesdays. All in favor of Thursdays.
We lose, James. It's
Okay.
Thursday.
I was thinking that.
Robin, they called you on it. I like it.
No,
I
it's
like that you spoke
awesome.
up though. We're going to get along great. I'm into it. Okay, cool. So Thursdays, we're saying.
Yes.
Just
Remember, this is not until the second week of October. Anything that can be moved, you have time to move it, which is the great thing. Like, and on the leadership side, we've moved stuff before. You're all going to be all right. This is wonderful. Excuse me. So I will send out an email. Who is really, Stephanie, are you the one who's kind of venuing for us? All right, I'm
Yes.
gonna get the dates direct to you, or I'll probably just send it to all of you. And yet, most importantly, I'll get the dates to you because I know which weeks we're there. So I will, let me make a note, please. Okay, and then only one other logistical thing, and then I kind of want to shift gears. Just because I've never been to Kansas City before. So for travel, assuming you know roughly where the venues might be, can you tell me like my time to airport? Because travel for a bold coach is super fun.
I would say less than 30 minutes from any
I
venue.
like
Yeah.
I like that answer very, very much. Thank you. That's sweet. Okay, cool. So next thing I want to do, because a lot of you, we're still kind of strangers. I want to tell you a little bit about me. I know that usually your agents like to know a little bit about the coach, so I want to share a little bit there. And then I'm going to give you my proposed, strategy for the launch, which again is a simple one, because I believe when it's simple, it gets done. I've been a coach for about 4.5 years with MAPS. I've been in the business since 2006. I've been licensed in California and Florida, and I currently live in Tampa. Between you and I, you can fluff this if you want. I'm not really producing anymore, and yet I do lead a team. So I know that some agents, especially top agents, feel a certain way when the coach hasn't sold a house in 100 years. It's perception, so it's their reality, right? I still lead a team. I lead an MREA team. We're called the HomeWise team. We'll do like 1.3, 1.4 in GCI this year. So I'm still doing what they're doing, and I know sometimes it helps to have them know that. Aside from that, and being a coach, I'm also a PC coach in my market center. I am a pretty avid investor. I own a title company, and I also have 6 children at home. So I live a pretty big life, and I think one of my favorite kind of niches to help people in is that, how do you fit it all in? Because what I find, and I'm sure that you guys see this with your agents and maybe at some point even within yourself, right, is that, yeah, that's all I do, is that we get into this business for all this like freedom and to live this big life and live outside of the box. And then I watch these agents that work 24/7. And not only do they not even make the money they want to make, they're not even enjoying the money that they are making, because there's like, so I really, really, I am the bold coach who is going to, like, I coach the whole person. This is not a business transaction. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be business focused because that's what our course is. And yet I like helping people get to their better, whatever their better is at that season in their life. And so, so that's a little bit about me. So here is, here's my perfect launch. We would, and we don't have to do it right now. Like, you guys can email me with the information or whatever. I want to meet with your ALC as quickly as possible. What I can tell you is that when we get your ALC in at the beginning, and when we broadcast that to your agent bodies, we have an amazingly successful launch. Because even though I know sometimes the ALC are not necessarily the tippity top agents in your market center, they are the most visible ones often, especially to the newer agents and the mid-level agents. And so step one is that I meet with your ALC either whenever the next ALC meeting is, if you have time for me, or if you want to set up something separate, let me know. I am about to launch Bold, so my schedule is going to get a little funky, and yet I can usually figure something out as long as you give me notice. And then the next step after that is to get in with a team meeting, and you can be the entire ALC meeting. Sounds great. A team meeting. How often do you guys do team meetings? Are you monthly, bi-weekly, weekly?
Weekly,
Weekly.
pretty much.
Weekly. Okay, great. So if you're weekly, my hope, and we can, it doesn't have to be like immediately, like all of this is after Mega Camp. I would love to have an entire Bold team meeting where we go to town, we go spend $20 at Dollar City and get every purple decoration ever, and we make it impossible for them to not know about Bold. You would ideally, and at a later call, I can set that up better and give you, it's super simple. Like, you're going to have a panel of people with great Bold stories. You're going to have one that's super business related, one that's super personal, right? You're going to have decorations. If it's in your budget, or you have sponsors that like throwing things at you, maybe you have a prize wall for people that register on the start. And then I'll come in, and anytime I come into either ALC or a team meeting, my goal is to start by teaching them something and actually showing up as a coach. And then we talk about Bold after. I don't like jumping in and just saying, come to Bold, it's amazing, because that, like, there's no validity there. I want to give them value so that they will consider giving us their money to get more value. So it's ALC, then it's team meeting. And then other than that, guys, it is really what it's going to come down to is each individual market center taking their roster, dividing it up however it is that you desire to divide it up. And it is one-on-one conversations, friends. And here's the cool thing about that. I know you don't have time for it. That's okay. I know that you know that we're in a heavy recruiting season. I don't care if they sign up for Bold or not. I mean, I do, and yet that's not all I'm going to ask for you to do is have amazing care conversations. How many of you have launched a Bold before, been involved in a Bold launch? Okay, looks almost all of you. Okay, so I would imagine in your experience that even you notice that you get a different response when you come at them and find a gap that Bold can fix and then talk about Bold rather than being like, you know, hey, it's Morgan at the Market Center, Bold's coming, you got to sign up, right? Because, right? So my idea is that if you just base it off a care conversation, how's your life? How's your business? Something's not great. You're going to find out, great, well, you should join us for Bold. This is how it can help you. And that's the end of the plan, friends. And what you would do is with that roster, you're going to have a running tab, like a spreadsheet or something, and you're going to mark people, green light, yellow light, red light. Green light is they said yes and they have signed up. Yellow light is they are for sure not yes yet, and they are not a hard no. The only people who are going to get a red light are the people that are saying, I'm gone for an entire month, or if you call and ask me about this again, I'm going to go to Remax. Like that's the only way that they get a red light, because some of these people you may have to talk to more than once. So it's a 3-step plan. Now, of course, aside from that, like we're going to market to them via email and via text. You guys are going to put stuff on Facebook. Like we're going to give you we give you access to this thing called Bob. I didn't name it, just roll with me. And it's got everything you could ever need as far as templates. It ties into Command. And yet, just like we teach our agents, right? Like we can drip on them and do all these things. The one-on-one conversations is where we convert. So does that sound like a doable plan and a fair plan? Did I deliver on simple?
Crushed it.
Sweet. Okay, cool. So here's the other thing that this is your Bold, and ultimately you're going to do what you do, right? Like, here's my suggestion and request based off experience. I would start at the top. I would start with your top producing agents, even the ones that you think are never going to come to Bold. Because what has happened, I don't know, I would say probably about 25% of the Bolds that I've coached, it's really worked well. And we've had a good chunk of top producers in the room, not like a few. Like we've had 20, 30, 40, we had here or earlier this year that was honestly like 50% top producer. The caliber of the Bold was different because I'm pretty good at what I do. And yet like, I'm not the only smart person that exists. And when you have other top producers in there with different perspectives, with amazing validity in what they're already doing, like the mid-level people and the beginning people, the people who are not really selling much yet, they have a better experience. They have people to latch onto to get them where they desire to go. So when I was a TL, I started at the bottom because that was easy. And yet I would just challenge you starting at the top. The whole Bold is going to be better for everybody. So we have 7 minutes. What questions can I answer for you? There's nothing, ask me whatever. You couldn't offend me if you attempted to.
Well, I have a favor. You're going to Mega Camp.
I'm going to be there.
I was going to ask, we're going to do a dinner on Monday night. Would you be able to stop by so we can have you meet some of our top agents?
I could probably stop by. I probably cannot stay for the entire thing because I'm sure like you, it's just ridiculous, all the things. And I'm happy to connect with anybody's people. I will tell you though, because we go like 2 days early for map stuff and I have 1,000 children, like I told you. So I'm leaving the last day, like in the morning. I'm not staying for the whole day on the last day because I get there early. So just as long as I'm there, I will leave what I'm doing to come meet your people. And that's another thing I want to make sure that you know, as we move this needle forward and as you guys start to, as you start to have these conversations, if you have somebody on the fence, send me their information. I will talk to them. I have no problem with it. you have a big team and they're like, oh, well, could he, like, I will present to their entire team. I'll get on a Zoom with them. What I want you to understand is that at every step of this, I really do desire to be leveraged for you. I am your partner. So all you have to do is ask for help and I'll do it. Hey, I need a video about this. Cool. I'll record one within 24 hours. Quicker if I'm near somewhere where I can do it. Like, all you have to do with me is ask. I'm your friend and we're going to have a great bold together.
Hey, Hudson.
Awesome.
Yes.
Give us some teasers on the new rewrite and how best we can tease it, because we
Yeah, you know what?
all of our market
I
centers,
wish. Yeah.
I was gonna say all of our market centers, we have several bold 5, 6, 7, 10 plus times, but that was about 4 or 5 years ago. That's kind of pre-COVID,
Yeah.
right? So, we just being able to help us sell this refreshed, exciting new bold. How about that?
So yes, so since if we're talking pre-COVID, it looks completely different because there's been more than one refresh. There was really a full rewrite and then refreshes since then. The current one, fun story, I haven't seen it all yet, and we launch Bold next week. That's how fun my life is. I have seen bits and pieces because we had a Bold coaches training about a month ago. So here's the best way I can say it, and this will make more sense if you've been with Keller Williams for a long time. Like, we're bringing back the Diana magic, and actually some of the old stuff, we're not making you lie on the ground though. We're not going to do that. Like, we're bringing back some of the magic of the original Bold while bringing in quite a bit of shift related material because hello, that's where we're at. I will say we're a little bit more activity heavy, which I think is good because I'm sorry. My goal is to keep it entertaining the entire time because a boring class, it's painful as all get out. And at the same time, if all I'm doing is talking all day, it's a lot. We've got more videos, so it's a lot more. I think part of why it worked so well originally was that there were so many different things that happened throughout the day. You were doing something, you were learning something, you were watching something, they're bringing that part back. So I would say they've brought all the best stuff of the original Bold, everything that was great about the rewritten Bold, and then they've sprinkled in some new stuff to take care of the fact that we're in a funky market, which I know is not super tangible for you, and yet that's the best I got because all I have seen are little bits and pieces and step one. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I feel like sometimes FOMO and intrigue is our friend, so just tell them it's a refresh Bold. I mean, like, and I think, you get somebody that's been to Bold before, that's a really easy objection, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, guess what? Like, it's not then, and you're not the same person. Like, let's just get rid of all of that. Like, we don't retain everything. You've forgotten most of what you heard in that room. And that's just the reality. I mean, a part of my story that I didn't share is that before I became a coach, I went to Bold 15 times. I know, in 5 years, I'm a super slow learner. The reason I did that is because I went into Bold for the first time in October of 2014. I had gone the entire year without selling a house. It was super fun. It was a great point in my career, and everything changed and I had never gone before, and everything changed then. And so I went from a 0 year to 5 years later, earning 7 figures for the first time in my life. And friends, I have nothing other than a high school diploma, and I don't come from money. Like, that, I kept going back because it's about the environment that you're in, which is what your agents need to understand because they're talking about why is Keller valuable. Well, we have different conversations. That's why it's valuable. We have different types of courses. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I think if you could do multiple videos, so I mean, when I say multiple, I mean, it could be up to 10, 15 that we can start literally dripping on, because we can say all that you just said, and it's going to be very different coming from you. Your story's powerful. It's going to hit every single person, whether they're $1 million owner or they're a multi-million-dollar owner or they're a brand new agent. You relate to all of them, and they need to hear that enthusiasm and that story. And so maybe we just start dripping on them with little 20-second, 30-second videos. And that would be really
I'm good with that. I can do that over the next couple of weeks and put some stuff together. And I know, and if anybody has to jump off, I know we've hit 2:30. I'm going to wrap it up. If what I will say is that the best way to start this, now I'm going to get us links. So once we have links, and you might want to start, you know who your bold junkies are. Like, you know, like if we start with a little bit of low hanging fruit and get some registrations like right off the bat, I'm telling you, when we start the momentum early, it just feels great and everything kind of flows. So I'm going to send out the dates to you guys. I'm going to include everyone's email that I have. If you see somebody is missing from that first email thread, could you please just kind of include them, and then I'll have my assistant compile a list, because we only have access to kind of the basic roles when we look into white pages. I would like as many people involved as possible. And then once we have a link, I'll let you know. When you guys, if you want to meet up at Mega Camp, if you want me to meet with any of your people, you'll have my cell phone number. Text me. I'm your friend. I would love to get out of whatever training I'm sitting in and come talk to your agent. So you tell me what you need from me, and we are going to have a beautiful bold. All right.
Awesome.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys. I'll send this recording out as well in case there's anybody that needs to see it that wasn't here. Okay. Take care.
Thanks, Hudson.
Thanks.